Moving on, we got the latest from Trump land. All right, so earlier in the show we spoke about how Keir Starmer's responding to the tariffs, and there's been reaction from the rest of the world. And I was listening really carefully at the weekend to the stuff coming out of the Trump land, and I was thinking, is there a bit of leeway here? Have a listen. This is Kevin Hassett, who told ABC News, and I think he's one of the White House insiders, more than 50 countries have contacted the White House to begin trade talks.
So the fact is the countries are angry and retaliating. And, by the way, coming to the table, I got a report from the USTR last night that more than 50 countries have reached out to the president to begin a negotiation. But they're doing that because they understand that they bear a lot of the tariff.
So suddenly we're seeing a different side of this, that it's, is this the start of a deal? Because I thought it was just a permanent new situation. And certainly Starmer suggests that it is. Trump has said he's spoken to many leaders who are keen to make a deal.
I spoke to a lot of leaders, European, Asian, from all over the world. They're dying to make a deal. But I said, we're not going to have deficits with your country. We're not going to do that, because to me a deficit is a loss. China would be the worst in the group because the deficit is so big and it's not sustainable. And those tariffs next year will make us $1 trillion.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Is this more flexible than we thought, Angela?
Look, Trump is a transactional politician. He's a businessman. He likes to shake things up. He likes action. He's putting America first. We know all the sound bites. He's a protectionist, OK? But he's using tariffs as a political instrument to shift the pieces on the board and get what he wants. Because obviously tariffs are blunt instruments. If he introduces tariffs, then there won't be so many inexpensive things coming in. People will be paying more for stuff in the United States. There'll be less competition amongst homegrown manufacturers who could put up prices. It could affect workers. So tariffs, it's not a simple kind of strategy. But as far as he's concerned, because he is so black and white, he's such a polarising politician, that as far as he's concerned, this is how you make people work. And maybe it would. I mean...
He's daft. He's a very daft man. This could lead the whole world into recession. And it's going to suffer the American consumers and consumers all over the world. And why is he trying to fix something that's not broken?
I tried to unleash my Trump impression on the Laura Kuenssberg show yesterday. I don't know with what sort of result. Have a look. And I would expect that he would come over and do the state banquet with the king, come out and say, we're cancelling the tariff on Britain now.
Really?
I really think that's what we're building up to here.
And take a breath and also absorb Jeremy Vine's Donald Trump impression. Who knew?
Only brief.
Back with you in a few minutes. That was a burn so early in the show. Right.
Even I can do a better one.
Stop it.
You later on then, you put the gauntlet down.
Jeremy.
Yeah. Emily Thornbury says, even I could do a better one.
I
said,
like your Trump impressions.
I didn't really get the revs up there, so I was...
I think you get the mouth right.
I do think he comes to see the king, he has the state banquet, and he comes out and says, we're cancelling the tariff. It's over. It's over.
Do you want to deal with someone as ridiculous as that it's going to take a state banquet for him to cancel?
Yeah, but that's how
you can't rely on someone like Trump.
We're watching a show here.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a show, and he's presenting it and producing it.
This is affecting people's lives,
I know.
people's businesses.
Well,
and we shouldn't be pandering to his ego.
No, but I think one thing I think about Trump is that he does care about the stock market. That's one thing.
For his rich friends and the hedge funders.
Even that, maybe.
He cares about the deal. The whole point about Trump is all predicated on doing the deal. And if he can make people work and talk, then he'll do it.
Yeah, OK. In the Express, anger balloons in US as thousands protest. So we've still got... These are some examples of posters people made. So not just the big Trump blimp, as they call it. The T-shirt saying Trump Yongen. We got any others? Any pictures of... here we go. Let's have a look. We've got some here. So, in the plasma, here we are. Keep your tiny hands off my democracy. They're not very good. I'm not Putin up with this.
Hands off.
They're not very good.
They're a bit rubbish, those placards.
I thought we had some decent ones. Orange lives matter. Clean up after your doge. Nah, rubbish. I thought there were some good ones.
I like them.
Well, they were OK. You like them, do you?
Yeah, I like them.
I'm not saying I disagree. It's just I thought they were cleverer than that. I saw some funny ones. Anyone else? Was it anyone else drunk called signal and started a war or something. And that's not funny either.
Wanted public enemy.
We've now got another bit of Trump here, just while we're continuing adventures in Trumpland. The Guardian Online has an exclusive about how the Atlantic's writer Jeffrey Goldberg got added onto that signal chat. So what happened was that Mike Waltz put him in accidentally because his number was appended to another contact.
Yeah.
And you know that thing where sometimes you save a number against the wrong name?
Yeah.
It was as simple as that.
It always goes wrong on WhatsApp. But what makes me laugh about this, Trump was more angry that he had the number of the guy that he hates. I think he was more jealous about that than anything.
Because Jeffrey Goldberg is the editor of The Atlantic, and Trump despises that magazine.
The failing Atlantic.
Yeah, but so he'll do anything. He's very he does personalise things. Trump.
You noticed that.
It's almost kind of there is a playground element to it because the ego is so easily bruised. And considering this was a potentially monumental security breach, as Narinder says, he's concerned about the fact that it's Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic.
That's so funny. But anyway, it was one of those classic things where they had the number attached to the wrong name. In The Guardian, we've got this Trump portrait back in the news. So I hope you can see this. This woman who painted it says that there we go. He's cross about it, and she says her career is at risk now.
He's done the mouth like you did the mouth when you did the impersonation.
I think it's a great portrait.
He looks like he's got squirrel cheeks.
What's interesting about this story, I think, is again we've just nudged to the ego of Trump. He feels that she purposefully distorted the painting, that she almost was prepared to compromise her artistic integrity in order to make it something that it was not, and so feels particularly bruised by that because it means that somehow she's compromising her work. But did you read the bit at the end? It said apparently, according to Steve Witkoff, he's obviously the Middle East envoy, he said that the White House has now been sent a new portrait, which was a gift from Vladimir Putin. Which is described as a beautiful portrait by a leading Russian artist.
I think
that's the PS to that story.
It's the classic thing where Trump just personally attacks people. As you rightly say, he says that she distorted the portrait deliberately.
But if someone did that to me and made me look a bit and I think, oh my God, that made me look awful, I would be offended.
I think she may not be that good at painting, and then he says, I must have lost my talent as I got older. And she says, that's now negatively impacting my business of 41 years, which may not recover. So one's got to feel a bit sorry for her.
But people don't come on.
He slammed out at her.
You take on the gig of doing a portrait of Trump. Yeah. You accept the privilege and pain of that. I think the other thing about the ego with this story is apparently she did a previous portrait of Obama, which was part of the same commission, and he said that was wonderful. Yes. So he really feels that he feels very much scorned by this because it's a comparison.